social media was like, it wasn't
as big as what it is nowadays.
It wasn't anything. I found out that the casting agent found me through the client. Like, that is basically the long and short of how I got into Love Island.
I've got a lot of pals that have been on Love Island. I've had this conversation with them where what is life actually like on that show? Guys, welcome back to the Broadcast Podcast. We are now on episode 8. We are freshly back from Paris. We are back in the UK. We are back in Kent, and we are back doing what we do best. Joining me on the sofa today is my co-host,
Brisso. Obviously, you know, the new announced co-host of the Broadcast Podcast. Paris was unbelievable, so I'm back, and yeah, let's get to it. Let's get ready and let's fire away.
And we've got a very, very special guest with me on the sofa today, Mr. Introduce yourself.
Rykard, one of Kent's finest. So yeah, I'm on the Broadcast Podcast, and I'm honoured to be here, boys. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Really appreciate you being here. So guys, if you don't know already, Rykard, he's a TV reality star. He's been on Love Island. He's been on Ibiza Weekender. He's now got his own business.
Yep, that's it.
The Rejuvenation Clinic.
That's it, Rejuvenation Clinic. We specialise in skin therapy and like wellness. So yeah, if you're feeling a bit old, then come to us for rejuvenation.
Right, so we'll take it back from the beginning. So obviously, life before. I say before you were Rykard Jenkins. You've always been Rykard Jenkins, but you know what I mean. So what was life like before this whole thing blew up?
So in my early 20s, I was personal training.
Okay.
And I personal trained in Dartford, that's where I learned. And then I was actually working out of a gym called Beefs and Babes.
Okay.
And like being in your early 20s, like going out and like dating and stuff like that, girls would say, "Oh, what you doing?" "I'm a personal trainer," and you know, it sounds quite sexy. And then they go, "Well, where'd you work?" And I used to go,
one of them ones, yeah.
So it's quite awful saying the name. But was working there as a trainer, was training people for like £10 an hour, I remember.
Seriously?
Yeah. I was like, you know, come to me, I'll train you for £10 an hour, because it was better than like, you know, like £5 an hour, like minimum wage was getting working at the desk. And I was doing that, and I just started learning really about just like people skills and working with people and like how to make people feel good about themselves, and you know, just like training people and all the science and stuff that comes with like physical training. But it was mainly like the networking that really stuck with me. And from there, I was building my business a little bit more. I was buying, like, making my own t-shirts, selling them, all that stuff. But I was getting new clients like referred to me quite often. And
was that through word of mouth?
Yeah, word of mouth.
Yeah. The social media weren't probably a big thing.
It wasn't as big as what it is nowadays.
It wasn't anything like social media would almost maybe validate a person's actually real. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Someone would go on my profile and go, okay, yeah, he's a real person and he's actually a trainer. Yeah. But it wasn't like how good is he, how much does he charge, or content and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It was, in terms of clients looking at me, they would see, okay, he's a trainer. But I do remember I once had this client come in, and he was actually the winner of The Voice UK.
Okay.
Yeah. And his name was Jermaine Jackman, and I trained him for like a couple of weeks, and he was a laugh. You know, it was good stuff. And we ended up going out in London a few times because I knew a few people in that sort of music scene. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is a couple of weeks later, I had a DM from ITV, and they said, "Hi, my name is," the producer's name, "can I, have a chat with you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, of course," like, Yeah. So they phoned me up and they said, "Oh, hi Rykard, how are you?" I was like, "Good." They said, "What's the crack? What are you doing now?" I was like, "Well, I'm actually at work. I've got like 5 minutes till my next client comes in." And then they said something along the lines of, "Have you got girlfriends?" And I was like on and off with this girl at the time. And I was like, no. It was like, how long have you broke up for? And I was like, 6 months. I was just like, oh no, what's going on? And then I thought, hang on a minute, because she was in the sort of scene of
TV
like,
scene,
trying to get into like, she was an extra and things like that.
Okay.
So I thought, oh no, she's probably got one of her mates to ring me up and like
stitch you right up.
Me up. And I was like, who is this? And she was just like, no, I'm just like trying to find out about you. And I said, listen, give me a proper email and stuff and like, can we chat about this? And she did, to be fair. And then I thought, alright, let's have a little proper talk then. And then, we spoke. And then I found out that the casting agent found me through the client.
Right, okay.
The guy that you did the PT session for?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So again, it's almost word of mouth again then. So like again, wasn't social media back then, was it? It was everyone was just talking and chatting and you know putting you forward to other things and more potential future references, etc. Blah blah blah. So
exactly, it's like and it's a big thing like how you treat people as well. Like if you make people feel good or you don't make people feel weird and stuff like that. It'll come back. So like that is basically the long and short of how I got into Love Island, and then.
Oh, we was talking about Love Island.
Yeah. But that was like that was basically
that was the whole before. Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. But before I did go on TV, I was just like, just normal boy, going out in Maidstone, Rochester. Yeah. I was alive, partying in days at Amadeus, mate. So that's.
I don't think I went Amadeus. I don't even know what Amadeus is.
I was probably like 13 Amadeus.
That's how I am.
So obviously back then, Love Island was nowhere near as what it is now.
Yeah.
It weren't there was one season before you, and then you were season 2. So obviously you probably didn't know what to expect or what outcome your life might be going on to Love Island.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas now. If someone was like, oh, Kai, do you want to come to Love Island? I'd be like,
you have a basic idea of what the end game is. You always have a basic idea of what the end game is. Whereas back then, like you said, there was only one season before your season 2,
and it weren't. And it wasn't.
You was probably thinking, what's going to happen to me then on this season? Because one season was done, you saw the outcome of that season, so you're thinking probably multiple things.
So for me, mate, like during that era, you had X on the Beach, and which at the time
that was quite big.
It was actually a bit cooler than Love Island, if I'm being honest. And then you had Take Me Out, and I remember a few friends. A few people from the gym went on Take Me Out, and then they got buzzed off.
Oh,
so
really?
it was like one of them ones where you're like, wow, like this is ruthless.
Yeah.
So the main thing for me wasn't about the fame, wasn't about any money, I was like, I cannot go on there and not get a girl.
So was your idea of Love Island to genuinely go on there and find love?
Wasn't love. It was more like holiday and fit girls everywhere. Like that
standard.
I understand. From a young male's point of view, I understand. Yeah, of course.
I was 25 at the time. Thought right, going on holiday, fit birds everywhere. There's gonna just be girls showing up every day and stuff like that. And that's what I thought. That's what all I wanted. So. Yeah, the money sort of thing, I wasn't interested because I didn't really see, an outcome for it. There wasn't any careers in front of me that came from Love Island and were getting these deals and more TV and things like that. So it wasn't existent. The only people I could only sort of compare myself to were people like I don't know, like a Callum Best and Mark Wright and Spencer Matthews and things like that. But they had been on TVs and series for years. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not like that. I more found myself in like the Take Me Out category. Yeah. But when I came out on the show, it weren't like that at all.
Did it do? I'm trying to think. Like back then, Instagram. I don't know how long it's been around for, but was Instagram a big thing when you was on Love Island?
I don't think
it wasn't big. It wasn't that big, and you had a few influencers that had, high
Twitter.
Yeah, you had
Twitter was actually quite a high one, to be fair.
Twitter was really big for like the A-listers, and then you had a few influencers on Instagram that had a couple 100,000 followers, and then when I came out to like 30,000 followers. And then every hour it was going up 10,000 followers.
Really? Was it that crazy?
I remember just being like at the bar, like
refresh.
And I laughed. I was like, look, it's gone up 10,000. And it was just mad how it was just going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And then seeing your co-stars, their followers were going up and up and up. And at the time, you're like, what am I being put into? What is this world? You couldn't compare it to anyone else. Like I had people from the series before I could compare to, but we were just going higher and higher and higher, and it was crazy. Even in the future, seeing the other seasons, how they were going higher than us, and then they were going higher than them, and you're watching it and you're going,
this is crazy.
The Love Island beast was huge, and it was like a big phenomenon at the time. It was nice to be a part of it, to be honest.
What was it? So obviously, actually being on the show itself. So I've got a lot of pals that have been on Love Island, and I've had this conversation with them where if we're at the bar, if we're at the club, if we're at a house party together, if we're in a restaurant together. What is life actually like on that show?
So,
because I've heard it's not the glitz and glamour that everyone says it is.
It's a bit of both, mate. Like for my time, so yeah, you have to consider this is 2016. This is their second season. The crew are still figuring out things. They were very much involved. Like they're involved at the very, very beginning. They're like, right, stop, no one talk to each other. Yeah. All stand in the pool. Don't talk. Like we can't say, hello, mate. How you doing? Mate?
Oh, was
like,
it
don't
really?
talk. Don't no one talk. No one talk. And then they'll be like, right, bring the next person out. And then they'll be like, you two just talk. And it was all like that. So on the first day, I'm feeling a bit like, what is this? This is weird. I didn't like it. I was like, the first 3 hours, I actually hated it. I was like, oh, this is jarring. Like, what am I doing?
Was that what you expected of the show?
No, because a week before you go on the show, they put you in this thing called lockdown, where you live with a chaperone, and every day you do something like a bit of media, a photo shoot, signing contracts. But the producers are coming in and they're hyping you up. They're like, oh, you're going to have so much fun and it's going to be so good and can you wait? It's going to be great and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I can't wait. I'm pumped to see all these girls. Like, it's going to be great. And I've got all my outfits sorted and I'm like all buzzing. And then I get to the villa and they're like, oh, are you ready? Are you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And then they're like, right, when you go out there, like, just be yourself, high energy. And I go out there and it's just dead quiet. And then there's just girls looking at me like that.
Like just confused, not what to do.
They're not going hi or you're right or talking about stuff. Everyone's just staring at me, and then I'm just like, you know, like I was just like, what is going on? And then Caroline Flack's just like, come over here, Rykard. And it's just eerie and it's just quiet and it's awkward. And then she goes, who do you fancy? And I'm like,
none of them.
I can't really see them because they're so far separated apart as well. And like they're all standing straight. It's not like they're standing all relaxed and like
yes sir, no sir.
They're all standing all relaxed like looking like that. And you're thinking, wow, I'm gonna have to pick one that fancies you. But before that, they go, oh, step forward if you fancy Rykard. And then one girl steps forward, her name's Zara. And then I'm just like, oh, I just want to get this process over and done with as quick as possible. So I was just like, I'm choosing Zara. So I go and stand with her, and then another boy comes out. And then she then steps forward for him. He chooses her, and then I get benched. And then I'm just like, okay, we're in the game now.
Back to square one again.
Like, we're in the game. I was like, if it's going to get any more awkward, it's just happened to me right now. So it can't get any worse. And I was just like, all right, you know, just get me through this bit. But 3 hours later, the whole sort of producers and the cameramen and everyone, they all sort of leave, and then they leave you to it, and they just say, they go, right, talk amongst yourselves. Blah blah blah, dinner will be ready at this time, and that's when you start getting to know people, and then like it just gets a more relaxed atmosphere, and that's when it actually becomes really fun.
I think it was a bit better back in the day because there was no limit on alcohol, was there? You was allowed to drink as much and smoke and things like that, but you're not allowed to do that no more.
So there was not really a limit on smoking. Like you could smoke as much as you want when you want. Alcohol, they would actually, the first night I always remember it, they bought like 3 or 4 bottles of Prosecco, 10 beers in a can and like 2 bottles of wine. And I always remember when I come downstairs and I saw that because I was just like, I'm gagging for a drink.
Yeah,
I was just like, this has been a long day. So I was like, yes.
I need a drink.
I need a drink. Give me a drink. And then we all started having a drink and stuff. And then we all got drunk and it was really fun. I jumped in the pool straight away.
It must have been like a bit of an icebreaker, obviously, because when you had that awkward bit at the beginning,
massively,
and then getting Pep Guardiola and put on the bench.
Exactly. Mate.
Substitution.
Yeah. So it was just fun. Like we all had a few drinks, and then throughout the season, the drinks just got cut off because my opinion or whatever I think it was, my theory, is. You had like 25-year-old men, or boys, we'll call them men, 25-year-old men to 28, and then they'll put like 19-year-old girls in there,
right?
And then and they're tiny, so like when they're like just drinking like like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, they're looking drunk, the boys takes a little while. You have like 3-4 beers.
You're feeling a little bit fruity, but you're not like
you're feeling fine. It doesn't look like you've got like drunk face.
Yeah.
And then like I think like they went. No, one glass of wine a night, and then they made it 2, but they'll give you it like 5 hours in between, and you're just like, oh, this is long. So in the end, very quickly it got like very like restricted, and you're just like, oh, here we go.
So I've got a question, just focusing on the Love Island. So obviously you were saying about you wasn't going and looking for love. Obviously you then come out the villa, and to the viewers, it looked like you found love. And this is a massive question because there was one season before. No one ever saw the shenanigans you created with that massive beach run. Come here, my baby! So, if you wouldn't mind, obviously I haven't got into detail, but just give us a touch on that subject of you didn't expect love, but to everyone it looked like you found love, and maybe to yourself you found love. How did that feel for you? Like, how did that feel?
I think at the time I was like, I went in there, just looking to have fun, and seeing, like just live that sort of Geordie Shore dream, like
of course.
Like that. And you do get to know the girl that you're with, and at the time it was lovely, man. Like it was good. Like if I was presented an opportunity to like, get rid and have a new girl and things like that, I wouldn't have done it because I'm not that sort of boy. And the whole group dynamic in the season. They weren't really like that either. Like it seemed like couples were genuinely like giving it a go. I think as well, like because there was no seasons to compare it to. We didn't know this like chop and change sort of thing that was happening.
100%.
So you was getting to know the girl for about 4 or 5 days. Without any other girls coming in at all. So if a new girl did come in, it is a bit muggy. It's a bit like the outside world. If you get to know a girl for like a week,
couple of weeks,
do you know what I mean?
Another girl's on the scene, and you just sort of sack it off. And
but
there wasn't no Casamore back then, was there?
No, there wasn't.
They didn't do anything like that, didn't they?
No, so it was a lot more like relationship focused because they just didn't bring in that fresh meat. So when Rachel she got voted out. I just thought, what am I here for? Because I'll be not being myself. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought, do you know what? I've come here for what I'm here for. If we're here to find, the person we want to crack on with, I might as well go. So I
think it did bits for you though.
Genuinely, and I think that gave a massive outlook for men as well. Like for them to look at that and think like this guy actually appreciates, like actually wants to find something with this woman. Like I don't care about no TV, no camera. Like I actually want to see if there's anything. Like for men out there nowadays, it's so hard to actually look at a woman like that. So back then it was probably the same as well. So like that was such a big thing for everything. Like
I got so much trouble. So much trouble.
Yeah, but you went with your heart.
What, you got in trouble for running off and doing
massively,
that? Really?
Yeah, massively. Like the producer.
But that made good telly. Like that was probably one of the most memorable moments.
At the end of the day, you went with what you felt, bro. And
it was crazy, man. Like the fallout from all of that was mad because there's so much going on. Like I haven't even touched on, but you kind of are pulled around a little bit, and then you kind of just want to, just flow through the show. So when I was just like, right, I'm done, I'm out. Give me my phone, give me my passport, give me my money. Like I want to see Rachel now. And they're like, no, you've ruined the whole show. Like you've changed the whole dynamics of the show. Everything you've done has ruined it. You can't just do this. You can't just do this. Like go back and do it again and all that. And
go back and do it again.
And I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Give me my stuff now. give me my money, let me sit. And they're like, no, we can't, you can't see Rachel. And then they're like, we're all talking, going, make sure she's out there, make sure you can't see her, make sure you can't. And then like, pulling her up, and he's like, right, get him out of here, get him out of here. And I was like, they got me in the car quick and drove me off.
That's
mad, yeah. So like,
hell.
then they had to basically come up with what they wanted to do, and then they then told like Rachel that I had, you know, slept with someone else.
Oh really? They
had to quickly figure out. They had to figure out quickly what they wanted to do. So as much as I looked like the hero, you know, like it was a very big like, well, this is the realization. So they pulled me apart. I didn't know all this stuff was going on, and then they put me in a separate hotel. And I'm like, why can't I just be free? Why have you still got my stuff? Like, let me go. And they're like, no. Then they like manipulate you, and they're like, no, like this has never happened before, and your story's not finished. So what we want to do is set up a nice scene where
it's only been one series before. Do you know what I mean? It's never happened before. Well,
he was the first one to do that. So like, go with the flow, bro. Like, just do whatever is necessary.
And then they was like, oh, we'd like to film a scene where, you know, you meet up with Rachel, and then you reunite. And I was like, oh, that's really nice, okay. And they was like, yeah, because we've had to figure some things out, because obviously she can't be in the villa still, blah, blah, blah. But before all that, they were trying to get me back in the villa, going, no, just go back. And then they were trying to get different cast members to keep me in, saying, no, don't leave. I was like, listen, I'm gone, boys, so I'm out. And like, with a few friends like Cara, she's like, why can't I stay? I was like, nah, I've got to go. So they knew I was going to go.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward, when I had to meet like Rachel at the time, I walked in there. Like, I was like with the chaperone before I walked in, sorry. And I was like, I can't wait, I'm so excited,
Yeah.
And he was just looking at me like...
Are you right, mate?
And, no, he was looking at me like, oh, I feel bad for you, man. Like, you're going to walk into like hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then as soon as I saw his face, where he weren't excited for me, because remember, I've known this chaperone for 4 weeks now. Like,
you've known him longer than half the members on the programme.
Exactly, so I can read these people quite well, do you know what I mean? And when I could see that he wasn't excited for me to see my partner, I knew I was just being set up, and I walked out there and I went, right, here we go, this is what's happening, yeah? And then, you know, they were like pouring the fake wine out, like, well, the wine was real, but they're pouring it as a prop, and I was just drinking it, and I stopped drinking the wine. I was like, what, you're going to have to fill it up again for it to look real? So I was doing really hard work, and then they brought like Rachel out, and then we had the convo, and then she knew everything, and then like, it was like a big like, it was mental to be fair, like, but I managed to put it back and have a laugh, but yeah, it was just crazy. But even that can like play with your mental health and things like that.
Exactly. I was just going to touch on that. Like, how did that then affect you after you then eventually got released from the Love Island as a whole? Like, how did that then play on you for the next couple of months? Like, did that affect you in any negative way, in a positive way?
It's a bit of both. Like, I think, really and truly, my encounters with TV were affected negatively because they do manipulate you so much, and then they throw you into a situation that you have no control over.
Right.
So you always feel like you're going to be set up.
Yeah.
As much as there's good, fun, fluffy things to do, like when they want to turn on you, they will turn on you.
Yeah.
And you know, and when they do turn on you, you've just got to roll with the punches. Like, So that affected me negatively, like even leading to Ibiza Weekender. It was
because there was quite a gap between Love Island and Ibiza Weekender, wasn't there?
Yeah, but filming wise, it wasn't, because I filmed. I filmed Love Island in June, and then I filmed Ibiza Weekender in September, but it was released the following year.
How did that come about then? So as soon as you left Love Island, they was on the phone to you straight away?
They approached me for my story really, and like this is the whole like mental health aspect. Like they wanted to. Talk to me, and they're like, oh, we feel like your story's not done, like we feel like it's good, like what can you bring to Ibiza? And I was like, oh, do you know what, like I've been Ibiza 6 times, I can, you know, like have fun, I can like show everyone how to dance, I can do this, I can do that. And they're like, yeah, were you cheating your girlfriend? And I was like,
low blow.
I was like, no, like.
Well, they asked you, would you cheat?
Yeah, they was like, we cheating your girlfriend. I was like, no, like I'm about to move in with her. They're like, okay, yeah, right. And then like, already straight away, I'm getting like anxiety because I'm thinking, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
And like, I told my partner at the time, she's fuming. She's like, well, we better not do it. I was like, well, I've kind of got to, because like it's work at the end of the day. It's more PAs, it's more money, it's paying the rent.
Of course,
you know, we're moving in together, things like that. So it was a lot like that. And then even when I was filming on that show, you know, they were trying to put girls in my room, or like, you know, it was just like they were editing editing in a way where it looked like I was talking about girls, and I wasn't, and I was just like, it was crazy, man. But yeah, the mental health, like where you think you're going to get set up sometimes.
Where it happened once already, you're then always on the edge.
And what they don't realise is like you've got to come home to the fallout of maybe like your missus, or you've got to come out to the fallout of all the comments, you've got to come out to the fallout. They don't have to do it, like no one knows who the producers are,
of course,
but everyone knows who the cast is. So if you're painting, you know, a cast member to look like muggy or in a bad light, whether they deserve it or not, you know, they've still got to deal with that fallout, which is a good and bad thing. But in terms of just going on a show to have fun, which I was there for, I didn't really want it to be like, oh, he's going to cheat on his girlfriend, or why didn't you go and talk to these girls for? And I was just like,
so you left Love Island, obviously. As the girlfriend you're talking about, was that Rachel? Or
Rachel.
It was Rachel.
Yeah,
okay. Because I was about to say, if I've left Love Island and I was getting that clout, the last thing I do is jump straight into another relationship.
Yeah,
and that makes sense now, because if it was Rachel from the show, and then you went on to Ibiza, so they were asking you basically, would you cheat on Rachel? When you came on Love Island? That's mad.
Crazy. And then, I told her to come fly out to the hotel, because the hotel we filmed in was like a public hotel, so anyone could actually stay there. They just had like a couple of rooms and floors, and when I told her to come out and she did, they went ballistic at me.
Really?
How dare you like set this up? How dare? I was like, she can do what she wants. If she wants to come see her like a boyfriend working, it's like, no, you think you can just do what you want? We've heard stories about you. So now like my head's going, because I feel like I'm this awful person, because I've just invited like, you know, my girlfriend to be near me whilst I'm feeling so. Both of our like anxieties are put at rest, but they don't think like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's when I started kicking off. And then I was just like, right, I don't want to be on this show anymore. And then I walked out another show.
Not one, but two shows, mate.
So like, no, you know, I did get a reputation to be fair, and I never went back on.
He's just a show walker. Do you know what I mean? Don't ever get him on another show. To be fair, you need one more, and then three's a striker.
You asked me the wrong question.
No, stay right there, mate. All right, we need you, son.
That's it. But yeah, that's all like the sort of, like, you know,
the TV stuff.
Yeah, the sort of negative stuff, like mental health, like the negative stuff.
I can only imagine the what it had on your mental health, because from what you see on the TV to what you hear, two different things. So you can only imagine.
Family? What about family? What did they feel like? Because obviously with you going on telly, your life outside of telly.
Family was good, mate. Like, family liked it. They're just proud of you. Do you know what I mean? They're just proud of you. You know, as long as you're doing right. Like, as long as you're doing the right thing, I think your family are right. They're really supportive. One of my best mates gave me really good advice before I went on any show, and he said, "Look, you're 25," and he went, "The career you have now and the friends and the family you have now are solidified. So whatever you do on TV, they're not going to leave you. Maybe your career could, you know, if you do something really stupid, but you know, your friends aren't going to ditch you, and neither your family. Like, you've got your solidified relationships. When you're a bit younger, in like, you know, 18,
still trying to build them connections with certain people.
I had strong friendships, and I did have strong.
So regardless of what the outcome was, you knew at the end of the day you'd come home and you'd still have the positivity of your friends and family.
Exactly.
So that's good, man. That's good. I rate that. A lot.
So if you could say one highlight about being involved with Love Island and Ibiza Weekend, what would it be? Quick, short
Definitely opportunities and friendships.
100%.
Yeah, like the opportunities, you can't dismiss them. Like, you know, the amount of opportunities TV gave me, like, even now to this day, fantastic. And the friendships that you form and the people you meet.
I see you're still pals with Nathan.
Yeah, always.
He's a good G. Big time.
Love that.
He's a good boy.
Right, so Rykard, obviously after the whole TV appearances were over, what happened with your life then?
So I think it actually gets quite fun now. Okay. So every year Love Island was coming on TV, and then, you know, it was a big hype on summer, and the hype of the show was like elevating like my profile even more. So I was doing major brand deals, like travelling the world, PAs like all around the country. And then just basically like living the sort of like 20-year-old dream. You're sort of like a famous 20-year-old, like loving life. And it was great. It was really, really fun. one thing I really love about my whole experience was I got to see the country.
Okay.
I got to meet different people around the country, and then just like meet Northerners and meet people in Wales and go to Scotland and like Newcastle, and like, you know, I'm just this normal Kent boy, just drinking in like Amadeus casinos.
That's it, mate. Just the locals.
I do love that though, because at the end of the day, even though you've had all this stuff on the telly and stuff, you're like you're a Kent boy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know your roots. You know where you're from still.
If we, like us now, what we're doing with the podcast, being from Kent, like if we could follow your sort of footsteps in elevation to where you are now, like with your own business and things like that, and TV appearances, it's nice to see that people from Kent, like it is doable.
From places that you wouldn't expect them to be from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
I'm from Chatham.
yeah, like nine times out of 10, it's more of the people that have already got something going for them that make it, so they don't really. They're not really bothered with where they've come from because they've already had that base of well, I was there, I'm here now. Like, whereas for you, for us, it's a bit different. Like, we're just local boys from a local town, like just trying to do something different.
Exactly, and like, you know, I love Kent. I think Kent reminds me of like in-betweeners. Like it was like, you know, it was that sort of place.
Why me? Why not you?
He's known you for about 20 minutes, mate. He already knows you chat shit like Jay.
I think will. Kent just needs to be on the map, man. Like I think, you know, we used to have such a good nightlife here. Like we had, you know, Maidstone, we had like Rochester, like even Canterbury. It was people coming from like South.
Oh my God, Canterbury as well.
Yeah.
I saw you in Cuban with Scott.
There you go.
Because you went from Club Chem to Cuban, and you was by the door, and I went, "Oh, Rykard, I was with you in gallery last week."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." But we were so burst. I think we went to shake hands at the door, and you missed each other's hands, and I was
like, just like, "Yeah, see you later." Like, yeah.
And the girl that I was with was like, "Oh, well, that was a bit awkward, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, well, it's my mate, innit?" I was like, "Mate's a Rykard."
But yeah, just after the show, like just getting on that circuit, meeting, you know, other reality stars, like, you know, people that you've met and things like that. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was taken back by meeting all these celebs, and then like you're getting their numbers and you're having drinks with them, and you know, you're just thinking, wow, like 2015, I'm like getting starstruck because I see Wayne Lineker walk past, and then 2016, he's like on the phone to me going, "What time are you gonna be here, Rykard?" And it is crazy.
And that's 1 year's difference of what so much has happened within a year.
Yeah.
Like you just said, "Oh my God, it's Wayne Lineker." How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And it is mad. So like, definitely had so much fun. Like, just meeting people, all the opportunities. Like, even getting like a JD sports campaign. This is a bit later, but 2018, I managed to get this campaign for JD, and I was like the first TV reality star to be on all the billboards
for JD.
And like,
wow.
I remember doing it, and I was like, it's not going to be that big. It's probably just going to be in the store, like probably buy like the kids' socks or something like that.
Just your head, just with a hat on, just like
exactly. And
what was it like? Billboard front, like the front window.
It was front window displays all around Europe.
Really?
Yeah, I had people from like Madrid messaging me. It was in like New Bond Street on the underground station, like me pretending to run. I was in like Oxford Street, I couldn't believe it, and I was just like, wow. I was like so happy that I got to do that. Like,
all from that one phone call and client from the gym.
There you go.
That's mad.
Yeah, that's where it all really stemmed from, from the roots.
Exactly. It's like how you treat people, you know, how you are on set. You know, as long as you've got like a good, professional, easy working attitude, you know, people will want to work from you.
Yeah.
Or work with you. Sorry. So, yeah, when I got that, it was like a sort of pinch me moment. But then it was also like where do I go from here now?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do?
You've had your TV.
Yeah.
You've had your billboards.
Yeah.
You've had your PAs. What's next?
Exactly, man. So I was just like sort of doing the circuit a lot. You know, I was kind of a bit like Groundhog Day. I was going to like the same places all the time.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they're lovely, but it was just like the same old stuff. And I realised that I'm here to make other brands look good. And then that's when the light bulb hit me, and I thought, you know what, I need to have a business that you know, people can come to me,
like
I'm going to them.
Instead of that you're helping them attract to that business, what can help me attract them to come to me instead?
Exactly.
You've also got to think of like a lifelong thing as well. So obviously, you've had all the TV and fame and stuff. Now you need to start thinking, right, what's my life going to be like for the rest of my life? Because I can't do this for the rest of my life, which is probably why you've invested in your new business with the clinic and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just remember sitting there like 2018, 19, and I was in Sheesh, and then I saw like the new Love Islanders coming in, and I saw this big hype with like all the customers that were loving them and stuff like that. And like, you know, I've seen it before, but I thought, I need to be like Sheesh, I need to be like Ocean Beach. I need to own an establishment where they're coming to me, and then all the customers are having this buzz, loving it, and like spending money. Like, this is business.
100%, mate. 100%.
And I saw a gap in the market with aesthetics, and I thought, right, if I can learn this and, you know, build a brand, I can, you know, use my connection to bring these customers.
You can be that Ocean Beach. You can be that whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%. I believe in, like, you know, when you go for business, you have to go for the big names. Like, you go, right, I want to be as big as these companies, and then you got to try and like replicate that step by step. And then that's what I did. I just like started training, started learning about like the anatomy, physiology of like the face and things like that. And then, mate, it was just like a hard graft of like proving myself.
Was there a lot of training with that? Surely like courses and things like that?
Yeah, so in my day there was. So I was on a course probably about, in and out of courses for about 6 months until I was like confident. But the industry's changed now, you can do things in like a day.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I was, I like to say I was quite competent in my training before I opened up. But the dream was never to be like a master injector.
Yeah.
But the one thing about my sort of ethos is I always believe you don't have to be good at a certain part of the job to own the business.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best barman to own the pub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be, you know, the doctor or the surgeon to own the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, or you don't have to be a scientist to own a pharmaceutical company. Like Richard Branson owns airplanes, he can't fly them. Well, he might do actually. Be fair. Like, but what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, to business and skill are different.
Yeah, of course.
Because you might have someone in your business that's actually a better aesthetic than what you are.
Like
do you know what I mean?
Like my current partner.
Well, there you go. You know, like she like, but then like, you know, but you have that business for better people to come and express. They can express themselves, and that benefits you as well if it benefits them, and that's how business works.
Yeah, exactly. Like even what you guys are doing here now, like, you know, you don't have to have the best cameras, you don't have to have the best mics, but you know, as long as you're putting that out there and being consistent, I think that's what I've learned about business. As long as you're consistent and reliable.
I mean, I think we've been anything but, you know, anything by that. You know, we have escalated, elevated, and.
So I always go through this saying, right? So like people ask me now, like, how have you leveled up and how have you got to this stage so quickly? And it's not about what you know in life; it's who you know. It's the networking, it's the connections that you make. Because, like, even like with
oh, so sorry.
Answer it though if it's important.
No, it's fine. No. Put on do not disturb. What's going on there?
Sorry about that. That's just one of his clients.
That's how busy. That's how busy his business.
Yeah, that's how business works.
No, but actually, that was that's networking. So yeah, that's someone I'm talking to who's on radio and who's a presenter who comes to the clinic. But I've got him opportunity to get work elsewhere. Yeah. And it's how it all works. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, so what would you say about networking?
Yeah, so obviously with us, like even with our cameraman Callum, because of the guests that we've had on the show, like we've had music artists and things like that, he's then gained work filming music videos for them because of that little 2-hour session that we had in here, and now that's got him more work.
Yeah,
and they didn't know what he was capable of until the podcast.
Until you show it.
Exactly.
And that's the key. It's called networking. It's like that. Is it working? Remember that word, working, because people go networking like, oh yeah, just got to meet people and hopefully something comes out of it.
Yeah.
You actually have to have intent with networking. You have to actually like be clear with your intention and say, right, what am I here for? How am I going to approach the person I want to get in their network? you know, it's like three words. It's like networking, then it's network, and then it's like working.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Once you understand that, it will take you to different levels, 100%. And I've definitely thought networking was about partying and getting drunk and rubbing shoulders with people and being all laddish and things like that.
Yeah.
Wasted a lot of time. Don't get me wrong. Good
it does sometimes work though, especially with me. Like
it does work.
The people, the connections that I've got now from, I don't know if you've ever been to Kings Road, Chelsea.
Yeah.
So with like raffles and B Club, like the people I've met in there,
of course,
has obviously allowed me to do the stuff now. Allowed me to go to do this launch party and have the guests come into the launch party and things like that. So obviously going out clubbing and stuff, I know it's probably not the best way of networking, but you have no idea who you're going to bump into.
You don't.
Do you know what I mean? You don't.
It's a start. Like networking in clubs is a start, but then what you realise is that sometimes people are in there for, you know, they're just there to let their hair down. So you've got to let them have their hair down and stuff. And if you talk shop too much, they'll start, like, you'll be that guy that's always talking shop.
Yeah.
So it's like the clubs are good to get good with after events and people that host venues and things like that. But then you want to find the places before everyone goes to the club. And then you want to find a place before everyone goes to that place. You know what I mean? And it is like the events. And like, you know,
because they're having these conversations, then they're going, right, should I go out tonight? Then they're going to these events because they've already had that chat. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to be going there and having a chat with, not saying with people like us, but they don't want to be going there and having that whole conversation again. So it totally makes sense, 100%.
Yeah, so it's about finding, you know, the right time to network. And then, that's why I've stayed away more from like the sort of nightlife scene. Number one, because it started to die a little bit.
It has died massively.
But
it really has.
Also, it's just easier to talk shop before all the big drinks come out and the loud music and things like that.
That's it, 100%.
So you touched on her just a minute ago. Your partner?
Yes.
Current partner? Obviously,
yes,
I bumped
Is this partner in aesthetics and your partner?
Yes. Girlfriend,
Best duo, mate. Always say it.
Wife to be.
So, wife to be.
That's
You heard it. You heard it here on the Broadcast Podcast.
Have you got the question yet?
Nah, not yet.
Do it now. Do it now.
Give me like a little Coke can.
So see, I bumped into both of you the other day up at Blue Water. How's life? What's going on? You two seem like you're working well together. Business is booming.
Thank you. You know what? I didn't really believe in the whole like when you meet the right woman, everything will be amazing sort of thing. I just thought I've been quite unlucky in love. Plus, like the way the world's turning, like you know, it's always boys for these girls and stuff like that.
It is, yeah.
And mate,
episode coming soon. Boys versus girls.
Boys versus girls.
Oh yeah, that's dropping soon.
But since the day I met Nora, my life's changed for the better, and it's really made me value like wanting to marry someone. But actually wanting, not doing it because that's what you have to do. You got a wife, a bird at some point, and have kids. But it's actually like, wow, I want to marry you. You've made my life better. You made me happy. I really hope I'm making you happy. Like, will you marry me? Or like, and getting to that stage. Maybe I'm just getting a bit older, mate. Like, I don't know, but it's just a really nice feeling when you feel settled and secure and happy. And I feel very lucky for it, if I'm being honest. So, I absolutely love her. And I'm also lucky in the fact that she worked with me. So we work on a business together. We have the same common interests. We have the same like desire to succeed in like being entrepreneurs and growing a business and networking and getting clients. Like me and her on the same agenda. When we go somewhere, we go somewhere for a nice dinner, but then sometimes we're like, right, just go talk to that person, get him in the chair. Get him in the chair, and we're on it. Do you know what I mean? I'll go to the men, she'll go to the women. And that's it. And then next week we've got
what clients have we got in next week?
Who have we got? Okay, we've got this. And that's what you want. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
almost as if you two are just fighting the world together.
Mate,
and I believe that once you find that woman, there's no better feeling.
Mate, there ain't.
Because who else are you going to fight the world with other than your missus? Because you're going to be with her forever.
Exactly.
It's the best of both worlds.
Especially being in the public eye as well. So obviously, being in the public eye, you've got a lot of pressure anyway. So was Nora in the public eye before she met? Because she's got decent following on Instagram and social.
Nora is like Nora is like the sort of high class. She's like in that sort of upper class society that are private, that want to be private. So her clients don't want to be on social media.
Right, okay.
But they're like rubbing shoulders with very high profile public people anyway. Like, but she was in that circle completely, but just low key.
Yeah.
And then like she's met me and I'm like,
yes mate, what's happening? I'm from Chatham back.
And she was just a bit like, whoa, like, what's going on? And I was just like, no, you've got to do it. You've got to get your brand out there. Like, you've got to like build your brand image. I've got to build my brand image. We've got to build one together. Then we've got like rejuvenation. Like, there's like 4 different brands going on at the moment, but they've all got to marry each other. And mate, she took it to it like a duck out, like in water.
I think that's quite good though, because where you had that all from the past, and she's got that high end, you can collab that together and create a whole new section of whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a massive benefit in what you've got going for yourselves now, and that's nothing but a positive.
It's crazy, mate. Honestly, like, she's like my business partner. Like, she's also like, I'll admit it on camera. Like, you know, Nora's a dermatology doctor. Do you know what I mean? She specialises in skin, so she's my superior in every way. Like, when you go to like a GP and you say like, oh, I've got like a mole, or like, can you look at this? They're going to send you to her. Do you know what I mean? So she's even like, you know, superior to some other GPs. Like, I might not be saying the right word, like superior. There's lots of different levels in doctors. They're all
You
amazing.
are my superior.
Yeah, exactly.
You bow down to me.
So like, you know, she's like this little 5 foot nothing girl. Like, she can literally look you up and down and go, right, do this, do that, take this, take that. Oh, that's what this. You've got sun damage, like pigmentation, all these sort of things. But yeah, she's just great, and just having that sort of support. Yeah. Especially when you're like trying to, you know, get this business going and try and make a name for yourself. Yeah. It's invaluable, and I really appreciate it. It's almost like, you know, you're making your podcast, and then, you know, your girlfriend might be like a movie director.
I'm like, single, by the way. I'm single. I'm single. I've not got a girlfriend.
It's like, you know, she's like, oh, well, you know, I direct movies. Like, I know what to do. But I'm like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? But humble enough to work with you and appreciate the skills. You know, just working on each other's strengths and weaknesses.
How long have you two been together now? How long has it been?
So we've been together about 18 months, but it took 8 months to try and get her out for a date.
Really?
Yeah, for matching on.
See, but that's the difference between a lady and a girl.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because,
and I don't mean that in a bad way, but women, they feel like they have something going for them, and if you don't match that, then they don't really care.
Busy.
But from my perspective, though, like because you've got that clout and you've been on the telly and things like that, mate, if you was that just shows that Nora's a completely different class from other girls. Because if you was to turn around to a girl and say, oh, do you want to go out for dinner? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, go on then. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got that clout.
It's true though, in this generation it is very like, it is crazy.
It is clouty, and it makes you think like, cool, it must be hard for you boys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, easy, light work.
Yeah, is it like, no, but it's also
we've got the clout now as well.
But yeah, that's it. But you've got the clout. Like, you've got to have the clout. You've got to have this, and then you think like, man, like, does it matter about all that stuff? Does it matter about the clout?
For me, it doesn't so much, because before all this, I was just still my genuine, humble self. Anyway, I would still just go to work, earn money. This is a bonus, of course. It's, you know, it's another thing to my list, you know, and sometimes I do use it to my advantage. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, but do you want a girl with, like? Would you rather a girl who's got clout, or would you rather a girl that ain't got clout?
Ain't got clout.
I'd rather have a girl that no one knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you got to live like far away.
My two recent relationships, well, the only two I've been in, they knew no one. Like when I put my Instagram, their following went from like 0 mutuals to like all of a sudden there's 250 people now mutual friends with her on Instagram.
But that's only because of you, isn't it? Like,
but I'd rather have a girl that no one knows.
Yeah, 100%. Not from around here.
Right, I'm going to say it on the podcast. So we had a little situation like a couple of weeks ago, and I was chatting to a girl. We're not going to say her name, but I was chatting to her on Instagram, and I was like, oh, right, been chatting to her a few days. I quite like her. Yeah, all right, I'm going to tell my best mate about her.
Oh no.
So we're in a group chat with our other co-host Charlotte, and I sent her a picture in of on Instagram, and Brisso just went quiet. And I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I was like, Brisso, then answer me then. Like, we can see each other on the chat and nothing's going. And he went, yeah, I've slept with her already. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh. Like, I've actually found someone that I was pursuing, and my boy's already been there, and I just can't do that. Like, I'm sorry, if my best mate, it's not even like he's an acquaintance to me, that's my best friend. Yeah. If he's been with you, I'm not going
imagine
there.
Barbecues and things like that.
How you doing, darling? Last time I saw you was, yeah.
It's like
can't do it.
I remember that.
But yeah, that's it. That is it for me. Like, you've hit the nail on the head there. You know, like situations like that. That's why I think nowadays it's more like, and I think it's just where we're from.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's the generation.
Everything round here. There isn't a lot going for people around here. You can't. To make it something of yourself, it's just to get out. I'm not saying people that are from around here doing whatever you are around here, doing good for yourselves, you're not whatever it is, but if you have that level of mindset, that level of where you want to be in life, you got to move away from your comfort zone and put yourselves in them situations where you might not feel comfortable to elevate. That's what I feel like.
I'm going to say this, I'm going to stand by this, but I feel like the boys in Kent put themselves out of their comfort zone way more than the girls in Kent.
Yeah.
I feel like boys in Kent, even like just the boys that have been like working in London and trying to make a name for themselves in the city and things like that.
That's it, yeah.
Like, a lot of the girls, they're just like, there's girls that worked in the city, of course.
Yeah.
But like, there's not a lot of girls that put themselves out there. Like they keep themselves.
Yeah, they're quite narrow.
Yeah.
Like they want to be around their girls quite a lot. They want to just be like around home and stuff like. Where I work in Eastbourne. That takes me an hour and a half to get to work in the mornings. An hour and a half home. I'm working all around Eastbourne, Hastings, all around that area. So like, even like you used to work in London before. You know, you're now working in Bluewater. You're working in London again. Like, we just like to get out there more and just go and find it for ourselves. You know, because I feel like that's what us men, it's on our shoulders to go and do that. Whereas women then expect us men that have gone out to graft for all these hours, all these days in the middle of London, and that, I'll take me out for dinner then. No! What are you offering, mate? You sat at home all day doing nothing.
Or they just make OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crazy
I've got my own money, darling. No, you don't. You've got 50-year-old Bob's money, mate.
50-year-old Bob, I love that. Yeah, but yeah, I just think like, just getting Kent on the map, the boys and the girls. You know, it's just.
It would be good. It would be good to make Kent. You know,
scene.
I'm not saying it isn't a scene because people know, like, you know, like you said, touched earlier about the clubbing scene and the going out scene of Maidstone. Maidstone is probably one of the best places in Kent you can go. Yeah. One, because it's got the rave scene of Sauce Bar. Yeah. Now, Sauce Bar put on untold amount of events every day. You've got the 338, you've got all the big DJs come down to Sauce Bar. I'm not a personal big fan of that, but there's loads of people out there in that scene that love that. You've got a nice little posh, pristine Harry's bar at Maidstone. We go there quite a lot. It's nice. It's
alright.
It has died though.
Yeah.
I think, where do you go on a Friday night? Because Friday night's dead for me.
In Kent.
Yeah.
It is mainly either Maidstone or just
London. I spend a lot of time in Kings Road.
Yeah, see
Raffles and Chelsea.
You can't count London. That's
Mayfair.
Do you know what I mean?
That's like, you know, that's all there is for us boys around here though. Really, it's either you go to London. Or you, like, you know, I wouldn't go. Like, I've been Canterbury, but it's, you know, it's uni birds, 19, 20. I'm 26.
That's another thing as well now. Like, I'm 25 this year.
Yeah, I'm 26. I don't want to be around 19-year-olds. 20, like, you know, I need myself a nice little 24, 25 with pristine blonde. Any birds out there, let me know. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for a lot, big back. You know?
It's crazy though. Like, from the age of 25, I've had like 3 or 4 relationships. So I mean, and now I'm finally settled down like 30.
Would you say like you're a relationship person?
Yeah, 100%.
You are, rather than doing the whole jockey single lad.
Yeah, situation. I think maybe now if I was like 10 years younger, it's more cool to like, you know, play the field and be a bachelor as long as you can, and, you know, just be that stud. But from seeing my mum and dad being together, and then you're just like, right, well, they've been married since they were like in their 20s.
Yeah.
They've got their house and the dog and the couple of kids. I'm like, right, when's it my turn?
Yeah, of course. So, you always look up to the older generation a bit as well, don't you? Like, there's always that of, that's what my mum and dad had, and look how they turned out. I'd love to have something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure it's nice, you know. We don't ask for a lot, us men, do we? We just want a nice woman.
Yeah, simple life.
To wrap this all up, if you could change one thing in your life that you've been through, what would it be?
Not one thing.
You wouldn't change anything?
Not one thing. I've done everything I was supposed to do.
At that time?
At that time. Whatever opportunity. I don't feel like I've missed the opportunity. That wasn't for me. That's it. Honestly, I wouldn't change one thing. If I change things, I wouldn't be sitting here now.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be, I might not be with Nora. I might not do this. Might not do that. Yeah. So I'm at the stage of my life. It's taken me a long time, but I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've got one more question I want to ask. Just touch on the mental health side. Yeah. If there's one bit of advice you can give to the genuine man out there today, with everything that you've been through in life, going from TV to PAs to your own business. What's one bit of advice you would give a man today in this generation?
My advice would be, give yourself a break. So treat yourself like you would treat your mate. Do you know what I mean? Don't get swamped up with what everyone's telling you to do. All these people saying you should have £1 million, you should have Rolexes, you should have this car, you should. Don't listen to that. Give yourself the empathy and compassion that you would to a friend. Give it to yourself. I would really just say that. Just treat yourself with kindness, yourself, and don't give in to frequently vices. Don't just think, well, I'm having a hard day, or a blowout. Yeah. Limit the blowouts. Do you know what I mean? It's all fine to have fun with your friends, but limit that stuff. Do you know what I mean? If you're heading to doing naughty things and these bad vices, limit that stuff. Do you know what I mean? But look after yourself. Treat yourself with kindness, and have the mental capacity to go, right, I need time for me, and work on myself in a healthy way. Because we work on ourselves in socialising, being unhealthy, drinking. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, But sometimes we take it to the extreme. Yeah. So that's it.
And a wise man once said, and that is the end of the broadcast podcast.
So Rykard, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
Big love for you. Guys, that's been episode 8 of the Broadcast Podcast. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep on elevating. And you coming to the launch party?
I'm there. See you there.
TBC, my baby. And it's invite only. So
invite only. If you're not on the guest list, you ain't coming.
Right.
See you later.
Thank you, people.
Lovely. Bang.